Now, you are a writer, but you're also sometimes pressed into service as a judge, and I thought we might mention briefly that you are one of the judges for the Western Heritage Awards that happen here at the Cowboy Hall.
Indeed, I've been invited to judge, I believe, every year for the last 5 years or so.
You must do good.
Well, I enjoy it. I judge poetry. I also serve as a judge for a couple of other national literary award programs. This being the creme de la creme of them all, I believe.
Well, they get some pretty good writers in here. I've been coming out the last couple of years, and thanks to the Cowboy Hall, I've been able to interview a number of the award winners, so I'm well aware of the depth, shall we say, of the people that are involved in it.
I would like to have your job.
Well, it is pretty neat. I get paid to read books and talk to writers. You can't beat that. But you're a writer yourself, aren't you?
I am.
And you've got a nonfiction book out on Billy the Kid.
Right. This is my, I believe my publisher told me it was my 42nd book. It's called Billy the Kid, Beyond the Grave. And it addresses the notion that the kid, the outlaw, was not killed by Pat Garrett, but went on to lead a fairly long life, passing away ultimately in 1948, 1949.
Oh my. So you must have found something that led you to believe that he survived all that time, huh?
What got me interested in this was reading the existing history on Billy the Kid, and you find that the history that is available to you is very contradictive and very conflicting. The history, which seems somewhat spurious, caused me to look at it a lot more deeply. And then I discovered that other people had researched this notion that the kid was not killed by Sheriff Garrett. There are a lot of interesting situations. When you look at it in great detail, the autopsy, there were 3 autopsies on the man who was killed, who was identified as Billy the Kid. All somewhat suspicious, as if they had been dictated. And some of the names of the people who signed the autopsy were not even present and never actually saw the body. The burial was odd. The people that actually dug the grave were not allowed. They were given orders not to look into the casket. The whole thing was very suspicious. In 1948, a man was found in Central Texas, a man named William Henry Roberts, who was identified as the outlaw, Billy the Kid. He denied it, but the man who found him, it was a paralegal named William V. Morrison, the man who found him provided evidence that suggested that he was indeed Billy the Kid, and the man eventually broke down and, in fact, in tears confessed to being the outlaw. And then we jumped into this. I've been looking at this situation for about 20 or 30 years and did a great deal of research, not only on the Pat Garrett, Billy the Kid history, but on the history of this man to see if the stories he told could be verified. And we found, in fact, he had a greater degree of veracity than Pat Garrett did. And then we involved an FBI-sanctioned photo analysis, the only statistically significant photo analysis in the world that compared the only authenticated picture of Billy the Kid with a similar photograph of this old man. And it was conducted by the University of Texas, a civil engineering department of the University of Texas in Austin, and they determined that indeed it was the same man.
So, pretty exciting stuff.
It is.
Yeah. I imagine you felt a little bit like a detective as well as a writer when you were doing this.
I did. It was like a grand treasure hunt. We knew it was a quest, and we knew that there was gold at the end of this rainbow. Or we suspected there were, and there are a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up on this. But we had enough to work on this book, and a national publisher picked it up, and we're very proud of it. It's doing very well right now.
So people can find it at their library and probably even their bookstore as well?
I certainly hope so.
Well, I hope they go out and look for it because it sounds pretty intriguing. You're working on another book, aren't you?
I am. I usually have 2 or 3 books going at a time. One that I'm very excited about is an anthology that is, the working title is Living and Writing the West. And it will be a collection of essays from a number of award-winning writers, many of whom have won the Wrangler Award here in this very building, wherein they talk about their inspirations, why they write, to some degree how they write, but mostly how they were inspired by the landscapes of the West, the people of the West, the culture of the West, the whole fascinating set of images and circumstances associated with the American West that generated an interest in these people to make the incredible writing accomplishments that they have made. It'll be a total of about 12 to 15 writers who are contributing to this, and it's been a lot of fun working with this project.
Oh, I imagine that would be really intriguing because I think that the West has inspired some really tremendous things simply because of what it is. I think when people that live back east and come out here are kind of shocked, and I really think they think it's nothing. You know, it's just flat prairie and there's nothing else there. But if you have the eyes to see, there's a tremendous amount to see out here, and obviously from the paintings you see at the hall and the awards that are given every year at the Western Heritage function, there's a tremendous amount that comes out of the West.
Indeed. The West and not only has the wonderful prairies that you experience here in Oklahoma, but it has the mountains, it has coastlines, it has deep canyons, it has such a remarkable variety of cultures. Oklahoma is a good example of the West. You have in Oklahoma uncountable Indian tribes. You have uncountable ethnic groups, starting with the early settlers from the lower South and from the upper South and from other places, mixing with the various American Indian tribes who were indigenous to Oklahoma, but also those that were forced into the state and are now contributing residents of the state. This whole intermingling of the cultures on this fascinating and inspiring landscape gives rise to a number of inspirations, many of which are manifested in writing. David Derry being an example in Oklahoma, Robert Conley, Cherokee, who lives in eastern Oklahoma, multi-award-winning writer, who are influenced by the cultures and the landscapes here.
I want to thank you so much for sharing all of that with us.
Thank you.